Okay, let's get into it. Today we're doing a deep dive on a very specific piece of hardware.
A very specific piece.
Yeah, the NTI SPLITMUX-4K6GB-4LC. It's a low-cost 4K HDMI quad-screen multiviewer.
Right. And its core job, the reason it exists, is to take 4 different video sources.
Like security cameras, laptops.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And display them all at the same time on one single monitor. It's all about consolidation.
So our mission today is to really dig into that spec sheet and figure out what low cost actually gets you and, what it costs you in trade-offs.
There are always trade-offs.
And it's not just, jamming 4 squares onto a screen. You get some flexibility there, right? With the viewing modes.
You do. You get the standard quad view, a dual view, picture-in-picture, or PIP, and of course you can just pop any single source up to full screen.
Okay, but let's get to the big one, the main consequence of that low-cost design, the performance ceiling.
And that's the resolution and refresh rate. It handles 4K, specifically 3840 by 2160, which is great. But, and this is the big but,
Yeah.
it's capped at 30 hertz.
30 hertz. So for anyone watching, that's going to feel choppy. It's not for smooth video, not for gaming. This is for more static displays.
Exactly. You're not editing your next feature film on this. It's for monitoring, digital signage, things like that. If you need smooth 60 frames per second, you have to drop the resolution to 1080p.
Which it does handle.
Which it handles just fine. And at 4K, it does support YUV 4.4.4, so you are getting full, proper color information, no weird artifacts. It also handles modern audio formats, deep color.
Yeah.
The signal integrity itself is solid.
Okay, so speaking of signals, how are we physically connecting everything? What's the I/O look like?
Super simple. 4 female HDMI inputs for your sources, 1 female HDMI output for your monitor.
And crucially, does it handle copy protection, HDCP?
It does. It accepts HDCP 1.4 and 2.2 signals, so your Blu-ray player or streaming box won't be an issue.
I did spot one potential snag, though, in the fine print. It says it doesn't support DVI sources as input.
Correct. It's a definite sacrifice. If you have an older PC with only a DVI output, you're out of luck on the input side.
So no legacy gear.
Well, not for sources. But you can use an older DVI monitor for your output display. You just need an HDMI to DVI adapter cable. A key difference.
Okay, that's good to know. But I saw one feature that seemed genuinely clever, the audio control. You can switch that separately from the video.
Absolutely, and for monitoring, that's essential. You could have all 4 video feeds up in quad view, but only be listening to the audio from, say, source number 1.
And you control all that with front panel buttons.
Front panel buttons or the little IR remote that comes with it. Pretty standard stuff.
Now for the part that trips up every single real-world installation, cables, distance. The spec sheet had some pretty strict limits here.
Oh, yes. The laws of physics. If you're using your standard passive HDMI cables, your copper ones,
for that 4K at 30 hertz signal,
you are maxed out at about 20 feet on the input.
20 feet, that is nothing. That barely gets you across a small room. That rules out any kind of central equipment rack unless it's right there.
It forces you to rethink the entire layout, yeah. If you need to run cables any serious distance,
you have to go active.
You must use active HDMI cables, the ones with the built-in equalizers to boost the signal. With those, you can get maybe up to 100 feet on the output for 4K. It really shows how a low-cost box can push costs onto other parts of the install.
So let's just summarize this for you. You've got the core function down, 4 sources on one screen.
But you know the performance trade-off. 4K resolution is capped at a somewhat choppy 30 hertz.
And you now know the big practical challenge, cable distance. You have to plan for it, and you'll likely need to invest in active cables for any run over 20 feet.
Right, and connecting this to the bigger picture, it just goes to show how the success of this device depends entirely on knowing these hidden requirements.
So here's something to think about. Given this very clear need for specific cables and that critical 30 hertz limit, what other unseen technical dependencies might be lurking in your own AV setup? Things that could trip up an installation the second you try to plug something new in.